Well, let's get started, everyone. You're all welcome to tonight's call. My name is Anne Turnbull, and I have been with Max International for 14 years now. I'm Canadian. I moved to Nairobi this year in January, and I've been living in West Africa for the last 8 years. I'm very passionate about health and wellness, about helping people live their best life, living up to their full potential. And of course, for that, you have to have your health. And so tonight is part of a series that we are hosting on health and wellness. We've covered different topics. We did a topic on diabetes. Today's topic is on heart and libido. We will be doing our next topic on the power of sleep. So many people struggle with sleep, and we know that if we don't have our health, we don't have much. And so tonight's health and wellness topic, I am joined by a great gentleman who I really have come to love and admire so much. He's so funny. He's so knowledgeable. Oh my goodness, I always learn tons whenever I listen to him. He is a clinical nutritionist by profession, and has a great business, really understanding the dynamics of the human body and how to live your best self in terms of your health. So I want to welcome Mr. Micah Kibera to our call. And Micah, you can take it away with the first part of our presentation. Nice to have you here.
Thank you so much, Anne. It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome, everyone. Here we have participants from as far as Nigeria. Thank you so much for attending today's presentation. It will be on matters of the heart. As you know, our physical beings have an engine that always runs to keep us alive in time and in check, and that's what we call our heart. So let's proceed. Now, I don't know, I want kindly, if you know where your heart is, type into the chat section, yes. If you know where your heart is, just type into the chat section, yes, so that we can start off with that by first of all locating this very important component of our being. And it's a very interesting topic, because you see there's a popular joke that goes around whereby people are told the work of the heart is to pump the body. Whoever says they love you with all their heart, no, they are lying. Their heart has something else to do. Someone has actually given us a very good answer. Left side of the chest. Yes, that's where it's located. Wow, that's nice. So yes, everyone knows where their heart is. It is located inside your cardiac cavity or your chest, and it is lying to the left side of your upper quadrant, just somewhere here. And anytime you take a hold of that place, you'll hear a light thump. That's your love machine working. Let me call it that way. That's your love machine working. Now, during the next 30 to 45 minutes, we will be looking at these following beats of the day. I call them so because the heart is always beating. Why the heart? Why is it so important that we had to dedicate this whole presentation to it? What are some of the diseases it might suffer from? And should we be worried about that? And then what is a ticking time bomb? And then the heart in the sheets for those of us who are a bit romantic. So, and feeding the heart. What goes into keeping your heart fed? So why the heart? It would literally die for you. It would literally die for you. So that simply means that is the only organ that would give itself for you. The minute it stops pumping, a lot of issues start arising. In the clinical setup, we pronounce someone clinically dead when their brain stops functioning or when we notice there are zero brainwaves or brainwave functions. But all that starts when the heart stops pumping blood up towards that other organ. When the brain stops receiving supplies from the heart, definitely stops functioning. It will let you be as young as you feel. If you ever walk up the stairs and then when you're at the top, you're like, then you feel that heavy thumping of something trying to burst out of your chest, that's your heart. It will let you feel as young as you want to feel and also as old as you want to be. It is very cost friendly. Now, taking care of your heart keeps you away from hospital, keeps you away from medication, and I don't have to even explain the cost of healthcare right now. Keeping you in stamina, as I said, running up the stairs, running a marathon, riding a bicycle, it will help you achieve that and even sustain that activity for as long as you need to. And also it eases your mind. If your heart is healthy, you definitely have less to worry about. So stresses reduce by a fraction. That's why the heart is very important. It is the sole organ responsible for keeping everything in circulation. So now, what are some of the diseases the heart might suffer from? We call them cardiovascular diseases. They are termed so because these affect the heart and the blood vessels that come back to the heart. So for those of us who don't know, the left side is where oxygenated blood or blood that is fresh from picking up air from the lungs circulates to or from the left coming all the way back to the right. That's how our circulation is modified to help us. It goes through that circulatory motion from this side downwards, then comes up through this side and back into the heart. Now, if the heart has an issue, even the supply chain of blood throughout your system has issues. Because some of those blood vessels require the pressures the heart puts onto the blood or exerts on the blood to keep in circulation. So what are some of the cardiovascular diseases or diseases of the heart? The first one is coronary artery disease. Now, the coronary artery is the single blood vessel that supplies the heart with everything it needs. The heart is so important that it has its own dedicated system of supply to give itself everything that it's trying to supply the body with. So anytime that particular vessel has an issue, you definitely will have cardiac issues or heart issues. Stroke, there are two types of stroke, an ischemic stroke or a hemorrhagic stroke. So an ischemic stroke is when, a hemorrhagic stroke is when you have a bleed or a bleed in one of your blood vessels. An ischemic stroke is when, let's say, your heart skips a beat or there's a irregularity in the pumping action of your heart. There's also heart failure when the heart is divided into four major chambers. One side that handles the blood from the body and the other one that handles the blood to the body. One side has less muscular walls than the other one. That means the left side has more muscular walls than the right side. Now, if any of the divisions between the chambers has an issue, then you definitely wind up with heart failure. Peripheral artery disease. Peripheral arteries are what supply whatever we see close to the skin, the ones that are big and throbbing. Those type of blood vessels, whenever they have an issue, particularly buildup of plaque due to lipids or bad cholesterol, you will have an issue of the heart. And the last one is congenital heart defects. These are conditions that you're born with, either a hole in the heart, a failure of any of the valves or the chambers of the heart. That one is something you're born with, and even after rectification, it's still important to take the necessary precautions to keep your heart in check. So what is the ticking time bomb? The ticking time bomb is what we call hypertension. It is the #1 predominant risk factor for developing cardiovascular diseases. So most of us, when we go to hospital, you will be subjected to vital signs, or what we call screening, or a brief, a brief execution of a simple evaluation using this critical. This one. So this is called a BP machine, or a blood pressure machine. It comes with a cuff that we wrap around your arm, and it gives us readings that will help us determine at what pressures is the blood in your system circulating. From those readings, we are able to determine your risk for hypertension and hypertensive issues. So it's very important to do this as regular as possible. I know there's a common misconception that hypertension affects people who are overweight only, but there's something we call SIFO, small SOFI. It's SOFI, small on the outside, but fat on the inside. You look slender, but your blood vessels are being corroded on the inside by buildup of plaque, leading to buildup of pressure. So that is the ticking time bomb. Hypertension, you will only know you are suffering from it when you subject yourself for an evaluation. And some people who complain of migraines and headaches start by checking your blood pressure. So now, let's play a simple numbers game. So briefly, I'll read the first 3 answers because of the interest of time. What does 17 million mean to you? The first 3 answers, I'll read them out so that we can understand what this big figure, or what this figure means to some of us. What does 17 million mean to you? To me, it means something different because I'm the owner of the slides. So what does 17 million mean to you? So someone has written real money. Yes, 17 million can really make a difference in your finances. It can make your pocket bulge upwards. Anyone else? Just comment in the chat. A holiday home, nice. Maureen, I would also love one of those, an escapade away from our hectic everyday life. And the last one, just one more person. Then we understand what does 17 million mean in the world of the heart or cardiac issues. Okay. Population money. Yes, if each of those, if 17 million people give you each 1 shilling, you will wind up with 17 million shillings, which makes you a millionaire. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. And someone has given the answer away. Wait for me to do the slides. So, as we are speaking currently, the world over, 17.7 million people die from cardiovascular diseases each year. That's 31% of all global deaths. This data, 31% of all the calamities that are happening, earthquakes, road accidents, other diseases, including immunity compromising conditions, 31% of the deaths in the world are being directly related to cardiovascular diseases or cardiovascular issues. And 7.4 million are due to coronary heart disease. Like I said, the heart has its own supply. So if that particular vessel is affected, the heart has a lot of impairment. And 6.7 million due to stroke. You have seen people just collapse, holding their chest tightly, saying it's tight. Yeah, they are suffering a stroke. or it can be ischemic or hemorrhagic. Most of the time, hemorrhagic comes in the form of something we call a cerebrovascular accident, whereby a blood vessel that's around the small blood vessels around the brain just give in to the pressures, and you have a bleed, increasing intracranial pressures where there shouldn't be any, which is another conversation. Now, that's world over. I want you to look at the current slide and look at the top 2 causes of mortality in the world right now: ischemic heart disease and stroke. Ischemic heart disease and stroke. That means number 1 and number 2 positions have been occupied. Then the other 18 positions that can be occupied with someone with other conditions. And that's how important the heart is. That's how important the heart is. So let's bring the statistics a bit closer to us. So for all the Kenyans in the house, this is you. 25% of hospital admissions and 13% of deaths in the country are due to cardiovascular disease. So if I walk into hospital right now, out of 100 people, 25%, 25 of them might be in that situation because of heart-related conditions. And if I go to the morgue, out of every 100 people, 13 of them might be in that position because of cardiovascular related issues. Now, the ticking time bomb, we said our ticking time bomb is hypertension. It's always there, just ticking. For those of us who are familiar with movies that do a lot with bombs and rushing to stop them, you always see people keying codes to try stop the time, but it's always ticking. So 10,000 Kenyans die of hypertension-related complications every year. And the sad part is, out of the 10%, out of the 100,000 cases, very few of them are actually diagnosed prior to losing their life or becoming mortal, or the mortality occurring. Less than half of them are on medication, which is very scary, but that statistics is still being collected up to now. And 50% of hospital admissions and 40% of deaths in the country can be attributed to hypertension. With that somber note, food for thought: when was the last time you had your blood pressure checked? Okay, think about that. Let's proceed. Now, the number 1 leading cause of mortality is definitely immunocompromised condition. Then the second one is cardiovascular diseases. So out of 100,000 deaths, 80 can be attributed to cardiovascular diseases, including, when we take these statistics, we look even at road accidents and other natural issues. So these numbers are quite big. It's very big, and that's closer home. Before I do that slide, just a minute. So this is the weight our health system is feeling with cardiovascular diseases. And every time we set off to do educative sessions, we are trying to limit the severity of these conditions. We want you to remain as healthier as possible by delaying the onset of these conditions as much as possible. So now, if the cause or the mortalities are not a good reason to jump into action, let's bring the conversation to our bedrooms. So what happens to our hearts in our bedrooms, and what should we be cautious about? Now, intimacy is part of us, and that's how we show affection, and it's very important to do it in a healthy way. So the heart regulates blood flow. It's also going to assist with hormonal balance. It's going to assist with stamina and energy levels. And it's also going to affect your psychological factor. So definitely the blood keeps in circulation because of the beating of the heart. Now, if the heart is circulating blood efficiently, that means even hormones are circulating efficiently for those that are deposited directly into the bloodstream. Now, the speeding up or the slowing down of your heart determines your stamina and your what we call lactic threshold when we're doing activities or exercise. Lactic threshold is where the body burns into energy and avoids buildup of lactic acid, or converts the lactic or oxidizes the lactic acid, which reduces the stitches and the pains. Sometimes you might breathe and you feel a sharp pain here, buildup of lactic acid, muscle pull, buildup of lactic acid, and so forth. So long as there's enough oxygen in circulation, then definitely lactic buildup is going to be delayed. Psychological factors. Performance in the bedroom affects our thoughts and our interactions with people, especially since it's not a topic that is widely conversed about. You won't find people around the table sharing their experiences and trying to come up with solutions. It becomes sort of a taboo. And then you'll find people really carrying heavy thoughts and thinking less of themselves because of such issues. And with that in mind, what should we do to keep our heart in check, and what should we do to keep it pumping healthy? I always say you are as strong as your weakest cell, and your weakest cell will determine how far it spreads. It can go to your tissues, from your tissues to your organs, which will affect the whole being. Things to be cautious about. Fats. Now, there are very many variations of blood vessels we have. So we have the big ones with the thick walls, thick muscular walls, the arteries. We have the slightly less thick walls with the valves, the veins. Then we have the small, minute ones, the capillaries. Then we have the small, minute ones called the subcapillaries and so forth that create intricate networks that keep supplying our cells. So let's come to the arteries. They rely on the pressure from the heart to keep the blood in circulation, and they are the ones that carry the rich blood, the nutrient-rich blood, the oxygen-rich blood throughout your system. So if there's anything causing an occlusion inside the blood vessel, anything causing occupying as causing the walls to thicken more than they are supposed to be, which can be attributed to buildup of plaque or bad cholesterol, then definitely it reduces the diameter of your blood vessel, which simply means pressure will be high because the heart is beating constantly, but the passage is narrower and narrower and narrower. Whenever the passage is narrower, you have to force your way through. Now, the heart is a muscle. And as a muscle, if you overexert it, it will grow and expand. Its direction of growth cannot be controlled. It can either grow inwards, reducing the sizes of your chambers, or outwards, occupying the chamber, the cavity that it's supposed to be sitting in. So that's why you have to be cautious about your fats. Now, salts. Salt is directly attributed to raising your blood pressure. It's the sodium in the salt that we are cautious about because it has a dehydrative effect on the blood, which will increase its viscosity and a lot of other issues. So the body has to maintain itself in balance liquid-wise by always balancing sodium and potassium. So if you over-ingest a lot of salt that is very rich in sodium, particularly our Magadi salt, then you have that issue. And I always point my finger to the raw salt that we keep pinching on the side of our plates. Be careful and cautious with that. The other thing is sugar. Still the same effect of dehydration, raising the osmotic pressure and everything. Be careful with sugar. It can lead to an elevation of blood pressure. And you know, definitely blood pressure and diabetes are sister conditions. One ushers in the other. Be precautious. Be cautious of processed meat also. It has a lot of salt, since salt forms part of the preservative, the sodium. Tobacco also has a nasty effect on the system of stimulation and so forth, plus tar that stains your lungs and creates a lot of issues when you're trying to deoxygenate your blood from the lungs. And also alcohol, which has a nasty effect. That one needs a whole topic to just discuss the effects of alcohol on the health of the heart, so that people can even understand why we are precautious with it. Point of caution, if you are on any antihypertensive medication, alcohol is a no. Do not touch that commodity. I call it commodity because you do not harvest it, you actually manufacture it or you ferment it yourself. It is a commodity. So what types of cholesterol do we have? So we have the good and the bad. On one side, we have the low density lipoproteins, which we talk about forming the plaque that corrodes the inside of your arteries or inside of your blood vessels. On the other side, we have the good cholesterol, the high density lipoproteins that actually power up your heart and feed them. So, what are some of the sources of these two? For the bad side is the one with the red angry face. We have red meat, alcohol, and cooking fat. Mark you, it's cooking fat. And on the other side, we have nuts and seeds, avocados, and cooking oil. Now, the difference between fat and oil is the state of appearance. Fat solidifies, oil remains liquid. Fat solidifies, oil remains liquid. So whenever you're buying your cooking oil, I want you to look at the nutritive section and just evaluate it based on the level of saturation. If you see saturated fatty acid levels higher than 30%, be precautious with what you're using. If it's less than 30%, then it's a safer option to the latter. Other beneficial foods are fruits, grains, whole meals, whole grains, for those of us who prefer grinding their own maize meal. That's a healthier option too, the latter. Another thing that really comes to rescue us is antioxidants, which reduce the accumulation of plaque and other issues along our blood vessels, including inflammation. So they reduce oxidative stress, which can lead to inflammation or swelling up of your blood vessels. And they protect against atherosclerosis, which is one condition that really affects blood circulation, because you find the blood vessels actually bulge outwards and they draw a very nasty pattern and so forth. Anti-inflammatory effects in terms of inflammation. Inflammation is swelling. If your heart swells, or if your blood vessels swell, or if a muscle swells to the point of constricting a blood vessel, it becomes an issue. Improving endothelial function. Endothelial is the walls inside your blood vessels. The healthier they are, the better the outcome. And blood pressure regulation. Yes, reduction in radicals will improve blood circulation and reduced risk of blood clots. Remember, I talked about formation of plaques or corrosion inside your blood vessel, reducing the diameter and causing whatever is being pumped through to come at a higher pressure than necessary. So that's the purpose of antioxidants in our body. Some of the sources of antioxidants are fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, herbs, and supplements. It's very necessary to have a consistent intake of all the above so that you always have enough antioxidants in your body. Definitely, you have to be careful with your weight. Do not overdo it. Be very careful with your consumption. Avoid simple sugars. Avoid extra salt in your food. Whatever is being used to cook is supposed to be enough. No more adding on the table. Remember, anything that is preserved will definitely have some level of increased sodium, because also it improves the palatability. Avoid excess cooking oil, cooking fats while doing your cooking, especially for those of us who cook meat. Please, meat is not supposed to be cooked with extra oil. It has its own that is actually enough to cook it. Whenever we are doing grilling, whether we are smoking meat or barbecue, we do not add oil. Most of us actually barbecue with some water with lime to give it flavor, and even our famous nyama choma, the roasted meat, we don't use oil. There's a reason to that. The meat has its own oil. Make proper use of white meat, not everyday red meat. Red meat is beef, mutton, lamb chops, and so forth. White meat is predominantly chicken and fish. And for those of us who indulge, rabbits, yes, I know they are cute, but they also taste very good. Rabbits, and so forth. These are some of the precautions you have to take so as to make sure your powerhouse or your ever-running generator is healthy enough to keep you in motion. And with that, I close with this statement. Taking care of your heart is like being in a long-term relationship. Give it love, attention, and the occasional workout, and it will keep beating for you like a true partner in crime. Thank you. With that, I hand over back to Anne. Anne, thank you so much for being part of this awesome team. It's been awesome presenting these health talks with you. And one thing you need to know about Anne is she's also a partner in crime to me. She keeps me in check. She's my mentor. She helps me a lot. She guides me wherever she can. And it's always an honor to learn from you, Anne. You're a very powerful individual, and I look forward to learning more and more from you. So I hand over back to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now you can see me and hear me. My goodness, you think this is the first time I've ever done a presentation. Goodness gracious. I was just saying, as I was talking to myself, apparently being muted. But if you can hear me now, and if you can see me now, put a yes in the chat. If you can hear me and you can see me, put a yes in the chat. And oh, fantastic. Thanks so much, guys. You know, that was so amazing. I was just waxing on poetically about everything I learned from Micah. I'm really looking forward to having him invite me over for nyama choma, perfectly seasoned with water and lime and the oils of the meats. And, you know, I always love listening to Micah because he explains everything so simply, with, you know, simple images, simple ways to understand. And I always learn something. So if you learned something in this presentation, put a number 1 in the chat. If you learned something in this presentation, put a number 1 in the chat. And if you are interested in consulting with Micah, he has an amazing way of working with people and their nutrition needs. If you're here in Nairobi, he has scans that he can do to really help you understand your issues and help get you on track. If you're not here in Nairobi, he can absolutely do phone consultations, but he is a fantastic resource, someone who I have referred people to, someone who I work with closely and who I really appreciate. Good. I'm so glad you all learned something. That's fantastic. So now we are going to move on to the next part of our presentation. I'm Anne Turnbull. I'm dialing in from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm Canadian. I've been living in West Africa for the past 8 years. It's so nice to see some of my friends. We often have our Ghana friends on the line as well. That was my home, Ghana and Nigeria, for the last 8 years. And now I'm here in Nairobi, Kenya from this year, very passionate about spreading the word about health and wellness to as many people as we can. And so I'm so grateful to Micah for helping to spread that word. So Max International is known as the glutathione company. And as we just heard from Micah, you know, our health is so critically important. And one of the ways that we can protect our heart, we can keep it healthy, and every other aspect of our body healthy is through the power of glutathione, because our health actually depends on the health of every single one of our cells. You know, he talked about keeping our blood pumping. Well, my goodness, our blood is made up of cells. And if our cells aren't healthy, then we actually can't be healthy. He also talked about the power of antioxidants. And the mother of all antioxidants is something called glutathione. And glutathione, every single cell in our body needs glutathione. Many of us may not have heard that word before today. I did not know about glutathione before being introduced to Max International 14 years ago. Now, Max International is the glutathione company. That is what we are about. And what is it exactly? Well, it is our body's natural defense against toxins, pollution, all of the attacks that we face every single day, even if they're attacks made of our own doing. You know, even if we're not eating the right things, our diet is not good, we're taking alcohol, we still need glutathione to ward off those attacks, whether they are from the environment or from us ourselves. And when we have enough glutathione, everything amazing happens. Our immune system is strong, our inflammation is reduced. You know, that was a big discussion point that Micah had with us around reducing inflammation. That will really help the heart. It helps to slow down our aging, gives us energy. We have better sleep. Our mental focus is great, and our performance in every aspect. Whether, you know, tonight you saw some of the between the sheets topics from Micah, whether you want performance between the sheets, whether you want performance in the gym, whether you want performance in the boardroom, you will have that performance as long as your glutathione levels are high. But the problem is most of us don't have enough, because from the age of 20, our glutathione levels are going downhill. And that's just normal and natural due to aging. But if you have poor diets, you have take alcohol, you have stress in your life, you're on medication of any kind, or even pollution, you are going to lose your glutathione levels even faster. And, you know, remember what we said, if you have enough glutathione, your cells are healthy. If you don't, your cells are not healthy. And so almost every health condition you can think of, including heart disease, diabetes, erectile dysfunction, kidney issues, arthritis, sickle cell, almost everything you can think of is associated with low glutathione. And this is a big deal because, you know, we want to raise our glutathione levels. And yes, you can eat a good diet. That's going to be helpful, but it's not really going to be enough to replace everything that we're losing just due to aging. And up to now, there's not been really too much to do. All of the good things you can do, taking the right the right diet, limiting your salt, your sugar, all of those kinds of things, they're all excellent and very important. But at the heart of it, you need to have enough glutathione. And up to now, it's been really challenging because if you swallow glutathione capsules, they just get digested. You're supposed to be making glutathione within your cells. And I know that we have practitioners who will give intravenous or injections of glutathione, and that can be very good for the short term for many people, but it's quite expensive. It might cost you, $150, $200 a shot, and then it's you're going to come maybe every week or even more often if you really want it to be effective. And so that's not going to be very affordable or convenient for everyone. And what Max International has, we're a US company, we're open in 21 countries around the world, including Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, 5 African countries. What we have is something called ribosine. Now, ribosine is not glutathione. Ribosine gives our cells the nutrients we need to make glutathione naturally. And it is a really, really, really big deal. So glutathione, we make it inside our cells, as I've explained, and we need 3 things to make glutathione, 3 amino acids or 3 amino proteins. We have 2 of them always inside our bodies, ready to go. But the 3rd one we need is cysteine. If we have cysteine, we can make glutathione. If we don't have it, we can't make glutathione. And we can't actually get enough cysteine from food, and we can't take it as a supplement because it's too fragile. So what our scientist, Dr. Herbert T. Nagasawa, worked on for 25 years of research is how to combine D-ribose, the simple sugar molecule we need for cysteine or for energy every day, with cysteine, the simple molecule we need for glutathione every day. And he is a very esteemed professor. He has 45 years of professorship. He worked for 25 years on this science, and this science of ribosine is now 50 plus peer-reviewed studies behind it. It is patented, which means it is only Max International who has ribosine, and ribosine has been shown to be 300% more effective than anything else in the world at raising glutathione within the cells. So it is a very, very, very big deal. And our products are all certified by any country that we are officially open in. So they are registered in Nigeria. They are registered here in Kenya with the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. They are halal certified, so suitable for Muslims to take. And they are also certified by the Banned Substance Control Group, which means that athletes and all of us can take them freely without worrying about any banned substances. Now, our core science is ribosine, and Max 1 is pure ribosine. There's nothing else in it. It will raise glutathione in the cells. You take 1 capsule in the morning, 1 capsule in the evening. Now, when you're raising glutathione in the cells, you're going to be noticing a lot of changes. You're going to notice that your system is detoxifying. You're going to have better energy, better stamina, stress reduction, mental focus, better sleep, better skin. So many good things happen when you raise glutathione in your cells. So this is an excellent product for anyone who just wants good health or maybe wants some help in recovering in their health. Now, Celgevity is our flagship product. Celgevity is all of the ribosine that you get in Max 1 plus 12 other nutritional ingredients that make Celgevity our most advanced product. This also raises glutathione in the cells and just gives some additional support for anyone who would like to have a very complete supplement to raise glutathione in the cells. Now, Max ATP, oh my goodness, this is a great product. I love, love, love sampling with it because it contains ribosine. It comes in a powder sachet. You mix it with water, and it is performance on demand. So if you are tired, you won't be tired. Usually it works in about 15 minutes. If you're tired, you won't be tired. If you have a headache, it will almost always be gone. If you have to do anything with your brain, you'll be very sharp, very focused. and appropriate for today's talk on heart and libido. If you need any stamina, strength, or recovery, either for the gym or for the bedroom, you will have that stamina, that strength, and that recovery. So it is an amazing product. It works super fast. And usually what I like to do is when I'm meeting someone, I will give them a sample of ATP to try. And when, by the time we finished our conversation, they've already noticed that they have a difference. And then they feel very confident about every other aspect of the products and the science that we've discussed. So this is a great product. Now, we also have a weight management product, which of course, so many people are looking to lose weight and just get to their best health. And so with Max Meta Switch, this works to reduce your hunger and your cravings at the same time as it's targeting fat loss while you keep your lean muscle. It's a great product. You maintain your energy. You get many other health benefits. It does have ribosine in it, a lot of science behind it. And so this is one that you want to commit to for at least 90 days to get the proper benefits. And lastly, we have Max 357. This is our omega oil blend. Now, Max 357 is quite unique because you do see omega-3 or omega-6 or omega-9 out there, but you don't see omega-3, 5, and 7. And the combination gives so many benefits, not only heart health, which of course is our topic for tonight, and it does absolutely give you heart health, but brain health, metabolism, assistance with digestion, anti-aging for skin, for hair, for nails. If anyone has problem skin, they most often get beautiful results with Max 357. Great for the eyes, great for the nerves, the nervous system. So this is a fantastic product. I like to use it alongside Max 1 or Celgevity whenever possible. And you know, when people try our products, they will always have a great testimony. I know we have many of you on the call tonight who have had wonderful testimonies of your own. And I always say, commit for 90 days, try and see for yourself. Because when people use the products, good things happen. I had a lady who started on the products, and after just a day or two, I got a call from someone else who I didn't know. She had been referred from the same lady who had been struggling with pain and arthritis for many years and had really tried a lot of things. And in just a few days, she was feeling so much better that she now referred her friend who called me, who also wants to start on the products. And the beautiful thing about our products is that they will always give a great benefit. People will notice the difference. And when they notice the difference, they want to share the good news with others. And, you know, we have something that will really help people with their health, really, really help. And for me, my passion is making sure that we can impact as many families as possible out there, because when you are struggling with your health, you can't be your full self. You can't be a full mother or father to your children. You can't be a productive and happy, person out there in the workforce or in your business or your career. And it really impacts so many other things. So that's my passion, is to share what we have as broadly and as widely as possible. And, you know, for those who wish, we have an opportunity to add an income stream. For those who would like to have an extra income or a business on the side of what they're doing. But at the end of the day, the main thing that every single one of us deserves is to have the best of health, to live as vibrantly and as energetically as we possibly can for as long as we possibly can. And so I thank you for coming to this presentation today. It was really amazing to have you on the call. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'll let you know too, we'll take questions in a moment if anyone has questions, but I'll let you know too that a week from yesterday, Monday night, we will do a health and business presentation where we will talk about the products for those of you who want to invite others to hear about them, and also talk about the business model and how to make money with our company. And then we will also have, for those of you in Nairobi, this coming Saturday, we will have another wellness event live in person in Westlands, and that will be about the power of sleep. So we will have Micah sharing a presentation about everything we need to know about sleep and how to make sure you can enjoy the best sleep possible. And then, of course, we'll always relate that to glutathione and how that can also help. So with that, I'm going to pause and ask if anyone has any question at all. I'll invite Micah back to our screen. And thank you, Micah. That was an amazing presentation. And I'm going to pause and just see if anyone has, okay, fantastic. So now we have a few questions. So can Max products be used by pregnant and lactating moms? So as a US company, we have to put on our labels, as all US supplement companies do. Remember, our products are supplements, they're not medicines, but every US company by US law must put on their labels, not recommended for pregnant women, nursing mothers, or children. All right, that is a standard disclaimer that supplement companies must put on their packaging. So that's what you will see on our packaging. We don't really recommend for pregnant women or nursing mothers. Something like Max 357, for example, could be a good option because omega oils are well received by those who are pregnant or nursing, but that would be something they could discuss with their doctor, okay, to see if there's any reason they shouldn't take omega oils. But as far as pregnant women and nursing moms, we would generally say no, wait until you're finished nursing. But if they have a health issue that they feel they want to deal with, they can certainly discuss that health issue with their doctor, share the fact sheets on the products, and ask the doctor, is there any reason they should not take the products? Micah, do you have anything to share about that?
No, you have covered it very well. Please, we are very precautious about our young ones. And remember, anything you consume will wind up in your breast milk. So please follow the instructions and also seek the guidance of your healthcare professionals. Yes.
Good, perfect, awesome, great. So I know that we have been out of stock of Celgevity, okay, and so in Nigeria we hope to have an update in the coming week, and in Kenya we will have Celgevity in stock in the week of July 10th. We actually just launched a promotion right today, where if you purchase 1 month of Celgevity, pre-order it. It will be available for delivery the week of July 10th. If you pre-order 1 month of Celgevity, the first 25 orders to make that pre-order, I know I made one myself today, but the first 25 orders to make that pre-order in Kenya will receive a sample pack of 5 ATP sachets and also free delivery anywhere in Kenya. So that is going to be, that's going to be a great promotion if any of you would like to take advantage of it. Now, the right combination for taking Max products. Yeah, so myself, let me tell you what I do, and I have been with the company using our products for 14 years. So I take all of them, all right? Nobody needs to take them all, but I am not getting any younger. I still work long days, I train, I speak, I travel. So I want to remain as healthy and vibrant as possible. So for me, I take Celgevity Max 1 and Max 357 in the morning. Then depending on my day, if I work out 3 times a week with a trainer, I take ATP when I go work out with my trainer. If I'm going to a presentation for the day, I will usually take ATP and Enfuse mixed together. And then I take Switch as well. So I take my Switch as well before my meals. So I take all of our products. I love them. I don't ever want to be without them. Yeah, there's no harm in taking all of them at all. Whatever you want to be taking, as long as you can manage to take them all affordably, financially, great. And that's why one of the things that we do is we offer a financial opportunity with our company so that people who want to enjoy our products can earn some money and basically get the products paid for. Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing, Kenneth. You're exactly right. It's just cost. It's up to you. And speaking of cost as well, you know, I spoke with someone today who tried the products with his dad some months ago, and his dad was really struggling. He was in the hospital. He was having kidney issues and heart issues, so many things. And he started on our products. He did really, really well. But then, you know, they did their month dose and then they didn't reorder. And when I talked to him about a month ago, he said, Dad is really struggling again, really struggling, really going downhill, asthmatic, so many issues, weak. So we started him on the products again. And he went back to see him up country. And everyone is commenting how energetic, how well he's doing. And so I said to my friend, I said, you know, let's keep Dad on the products, but even if he's feeling fantastic after a month or two, there's no reason that he can't try half a dose if you're concerned about cost and you want to reduce the cost. And let's see if he maintains his great health. Because of course, we all know that if you have parents who are struggling with their health, for example, you know, it's quite expensive to start traveling there, to start putting them in hospital or getting consultations or specialized tests. And it's a lot of stress on the family. So, you know, spending a little bit of money on products that are going to keep us as healthy as possible and feeling great, being vibrant and productive, it's worth a lot. You know, funerals cost a lot of money. We've all known people who say, I'm so sorry, my mom or my dad or my relative has died, and can you help pay for the funeral? It happens all the time. So funerals are costly, right? It's good to take care of yourself while you're alive so that you can live and enjoy your best health. Wow, Anunam, you use Switch, Celgevity 357, and ATP, occasionally GXL. Yes, I use GXL as well. It's true. We didn't even talk about that one today. And Anunam is from Ghana, one of our amazing leaders in Ghana. So now that means we have Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, all in the house today. Great. Oh, Catherine, yes, you're looking for prices. So prices depend on your market. So just talk to the person that invited you to this call and they'd be happy to send you a price list, okay? Yeah, thanks so much for the question. All right, good. All right, any other questions? I think we've covered them all. All right, amazing. So thank you. We're exactly on the hour. So this is perfect timing. Thank you so much for joining us. Micah, thank you again. You do such amazing work. And if any of you are looking for nutritional consultation, I would highly recommend that you give Micah a call. If you don't know his number offhand, just message one of us, whoever invited you to the call. We'll be happy to get you in touch with him. He can do online consultations or, of course, physical consultations if you happen to be in Nairobi. And he does great work. So stay tuned. If you're in Nairobi, join us this Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. We'll get the notice out on our pages. After this call, that will be on the power of sleep. And then a week from next week on Monday, we will have a health and business opportunity on Monday night. And then we will do the power of sleep online a week and a bit after our live event. Okay, so that's kind of the rhythm that we're trying to set. All right, everyone. So thank you. It was super to have you all here. And Micah, thank you once again. And I will say good night to everyone, or good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you again very, very soon. And if you're interested in the products or learning more about any aspect of the Max products, the Max business, or consultation with Micah, just get back to the person who invited you to this call, and we'd be happy to talk further. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.